In our first example, we're talking about a hay bale. We need to find the volume of the hay bale, the surface area, and the amount of shrink wrap that it needs to wrap around. Now, the question gave us the diameter instead of the radius. So let's rewrite this as a radius so that I can use it for my equations. So the first part is asking us for our volume. In the volume, we take the area of the base shape, which is a circle in this case, and we multiply it by our height. So I have pi r squared times h. Our volume, 3.14 times 2.5 squared times 5. Let's throw that into our calculators. I have 3.14 times 2.5 squared times 5. And that gives us 98.125 cubic feet, or feet cubed. Now our second part, it's asking us for the surface area. Now we know that surface area is a two-dimensional measurement. So I need to take my 3D shape and flatten it down into two dimensions. Now the first part, I'm going to have two circles for the ends. The second part would be the middle. I'll call it the tube part. Now, the tube part, if I open it up, it would become a rectangle. And we remember that the length of this tube is equivalent to the circumference of the circle. So let's first find the value or the area of one circle. So we have pi r squared, 3.14 times 2.5 squared. Let's see. 3.14 times 2.5 squared. That gives us 19.625. This is feet squared of one circle. So if I have two circles, I would have 19.625 times 2, and that gives us 39.25. The second part, we have our tube part. The length is going to be calculated by our circumference. Equation for circumference, 2 pi r. So I have 2 times 3.14 times 5. 2 times 3.14 times 5. 31, times 2.5. That was a mistake. Sorry, let's try that again. 2 times 3.14 times 2.5. So that gives us 15.7. So we know that 15.7 is our circumference. So the area is going to be 15.7 times 5. 78.5. So my total surface area is equal to 78.5 plus 39.25. That gives us 75, 117.75 feet squared. Now, we're not complete yet because the next part is asking us how much it would take if I need to get the shrink wrap. Now, hay is kind of funny because the shrink wrap only goes around the circular part. It doesn't go around the two ends. So I'm looking only at this surface area. Only around the body. Now, we can refer back to our area up here. It means I would need 78.5 feet squared of shrink wrap. But the question told us that there was a restriction. This shrink wrap doesn't come in feet squared. It comes in meters squared. So I need to convert this into meters squared. So instead of calculating it completely, let's use our equation here. Go to Google. I'm going to type in 78.5 square foot, and that's equal to 7.29. Use Google. So 78.5 feet squared is about 7.2 meters squared. But the trouble is, it told us that it is only coming in full square meters. So we have to round this up, and we would have to purchase 8 meters squared of shrink wrap to wrap around the outside. We're going to have extra, but that's the amount you would have to purchase.